Welcome to my entrepreneurial journey, the podcast that's all about real stories and real strategies for women entrepreneurs over 40 who are ready to grow their businesses with purpose and authenticity. I'm Yaritza Baez, and on this show, we mix deep dive conversations with inspiring guests who share their entrepreneurial journeys alongside actionable advice tailored to help you navigate your own. Whether you are tuning in to learn practical tips or listening in for inspiration, each episode is designed to meet you where you are in your journey. So, if you're ready to leave behind the overwhelm and start building a business that reflects who you are, hit subscribe and join me each week for insights that empower your entrepreneurial path. Hello and welcome back to my entrepreneurial journey. If you're new here, I'm Yaritza, and this podcast is for women, especially those of us in our 40s and 50s, who are building businesses later in life, often while holding a lot more than people realize. Today's episode is a little different. Less strategy, more reflection. Last November, I traveled to Peru, and even though I didn't go there looking for business lessons, I came back with some of the most important ones I have learned so far. And honestly, no course ever taught me this. So today, I want to share 7 lessons Peru taught me about business, especially if you are in the early years when things still feel uncertain, unfinished, and sometimes confusing. So the first thing I learned, lesson 1, is that your business can expand beyond where you have expanded. I didn't go to Peru thinking about growth or goals or revenue numbers. That was the last thing on my mind. But being in a completely different environment, the altitude, the landscape, the stillness, something shifted in me. And here is what became very clear. Again, if your business can expand where, it cannot expand beyond where you have expanded already. When we feel stuck, I notice our instinct is usually to fix it with more tactic. Maybe another course, another framework, another strategy. But sometimes what's really missing is perspective. New environments stretch you. And when you stretch, your thinking changes. So let me ask you this. When was the last time you truly expanded yourself, not just your to-do list? Yeah, because that one is always growing, but nevertheless. So lesson number 2 will be resilience doesn't mean hustle. Walking at 12,000 feet or more, because I think I even went up to 16,000, teaches you something very quickly. And I mean very quickly. You can't rush. There is no way. If you are not used to that. You listen to your body. You pace yourself. You rest when you need to. And that's not a weakness. That's wisdom. This hit me deeply as a woman building a business after 40. Resilience isn't about pushing harder. It's about pacing yourself so you can stay in the game. Burnout isn't proof you are committed. Sustainability is. If your business currently requires you to override your energy, your body, or your life, that's information. That's not failure. And Also, freedom is the real goal here. And that will be lesson number 3. I didn't start my business to sit behind a desk all day. And I'm guessing you didn't either. For that we keep our jobs. Peru wasn't an escape from my business. It was evidence that my work and my daily life are finally starting to align. And this is the question I want you to sit with. If your business is consuming your life instead of expanding it, what are you really building? Freedom doesn't mean no responsibility, obviously, but it means choice. And choice is usually the real reason we start this journey, our entrepreneurial journey. So I want you to think about that. The next lesson I learned was if you're building without seeing the whole picture, that's okay too. You don't have to have it all figured out from beginning to end. I don't think anybody does. You could have a vision of what you may want and keep visualizing that. But you don't having the whole picture with every detail. No, and that's okay. And one of the most powerful moments for me was learning about or going to see the Nazca lines. These massive designs were created by people who never saw the full picture from above. And it was quite an interesting thing to see. It was incredible. And suddenly I thought, this is exactly what the first 1 to 3 years of business feel like. I mean, you are investing in your business, equally investing in yourself. You are building, you are trusting without immediate proof. So that doesn't mean you are lost. It means you are doing it honestly. That's where the up and down come, and the curvy roads. The full picture comes later. And faith is a part of the process, and I think it's one of the most important ones. You got to have faith, even if no one prepare you for that part. And I know there are moments when faith it becomes hard to come by, but we cannot lose sight of it. Lesson number 5 is no one is going to give you permission. I see so many women who are, I'm talked to that are intelligent, capable women, and they are still waiting, like if they need to ask permission to who, you know what I mean? And so they're waiting to feel ready. They're waiting for validation, waiting for someone to say, yes, now you can do it. Peru reminded me of something very simple. That permission isn't coming. You choose, you decide, you claim this chapter. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are right on time. Then the following lesson that came by to me was leadership means walking your talk. And by that I mean that after Peru, I invested in another trip, and it was for a women's retreat. And it was right after, I flew from Peru and more or less, and I was at that 2 days later, I, came home and then went straight to the retreat. So basically it was a back-to-back thing. Was it practical on paper? Maybe not. But leadership isn't theoretical. Because, this is how I see it. If I ask my clients to invest in growth, I need to model that. If I ask them to choose themselves, I have to live with that choice. Your clients feel the difference when your life and your message is aligned. That I find it to be very true. The other lesson that I got from that trip was alignment is the best business strategy. And I'm going to repeat that one. Alignment is the best business strategy. Peru didn't just inspire me. It confirmed something deep. I'm building the right business for who I am now. One built around freedom, alignment, sustainability, growth that feels grounded. And I truly believe that's possible for you too. Not overnight, not without uncertainty, but with intention. And that's, my friends, what I wanted to share with you on this episode. I find that there are many people out there that promise things that is impossible for them to happen overnight. It's not possible that they will happen without uncertainty. But they will happen if with intention. Yes, you got to be certain, but there will be moments of uncertainty, and that is part of the journey. And I want to close this episode by saying that if you are at a point where you are feeling stuck and spinning your wheels, I want you to know that you don't have to figure all this out alone. I offer one-on-one strategy calls, and they are a grounded conversation about where you are right now, what you are building, and what support might actually help. If that feels like the right next step, you will find the link in the show notes. So, thank you so much for listening, and until next time, take care. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in to my entrepreneurial journey with Yaritza Baez. I hope today's episode gave you insights and inspiration to fuel your business journey. Remember, whether you are just starting out or looking to grow, you are not alone on this path. We are building our dreams together, one step at a time. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you feel inspired, leave a review or share this episode with a friend who could use a little extra motivation. Until next time, keep pushing forward and bringing your unique vision to life.